get it.
It's not on yet. Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to another edition of Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast, brought to you from the 209.
The 209? Yeah, I knew it. You're peeking.
Am I peeking?
Yeah, because you don't want to do. Because you don't want to do no. Oh, you're peeking on picograms.
Picograms. Your weekly MMA podcast brought to you from the SinCal Studios here in Modesto, California, in the 209. What?
209? 209?
Breaking you off with all of the news that is in the wide world of mixed martial arts. We also cover the rumors, things you need your tinfoil hat for that are on the forums. We also cover all of the fights that are upcoming, recapping fights that just happened, and talking about mixed martial arts.
Talking about mixed martial arts. And we're talking about Blake Carmichael's milkshakes that he's going to be getting rid of.
He's getting rid of his milkshakes?
He's going to get rid of his milkshakes.
Oh.
I know. No more boys to the bar.
Let's jump into the first story of the week. This weird interaction online between...
Is she threatening to shoot him?
Henry Cejudo and Valentino Shevchenko.
My money's on Shevchenko.
Henry Cejudo once again went online and posted a public service announcement. There's the air quotes for those just listening.
We'll just say PSA.
Yeah. Who basically said he's jealous of all the gold that she has and that he wants to set up an intergender match because he is the Triple C, which stands for Triple Champion, because he has 2 belts and a gold medal.
Oh, I thought he's the cunt.
He's Cejudo. Henry Cejudo. And he wants to be the first ever intergender championship. He even created his own shirt. She clapped back on YouTube, or excuse me, on Instagram, and said, "Be careful what you wish for," looking for Henry Cejudo. Very, very strange. Dana White went out and said, "This is the wackiest shit I've ever heard of in my life." It's fucking crazy that he even say that. But Valentino will probably do it. I don't even know how to respond or what other to say than just wow. When they asked him, well, who would you give the nod to? He says, fuck, I don't even know. I can't even fucking wrap my head around it. I don't know why he's saying that. It's crazy, but what are you going to do? Do you like Henry Cejudo making call-outs like this? They always say he's Captain Cringe, and he's going full cringe mode. He's trying to get as much.
But it's like Colby Covington. I mean, they're making their own bed. They, lie down in that.
This is a weird one, though, man.
It's not really.
Is this Andy Kaufman? Is he going Andy Kaufman?
No, because I don't know. Because the big problem is like it's little Cejudo. You know what I mean? Like if John Jones was saying something like this, I think it would, and pardon the pun, carry more weight. You know what I'm saying?
He carries 2 weights, sir.
I know, but even those 2 together still don't scare me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole thing's a little odd. I don't know.
Those faces that he's making.
I don't know if I thought maybe he had a crush on her.
No, because he said Amanda Nunes too.
Right. Yeah.
Who will annihilate him.
I think Valentino would annihilate him.
Yeah. But Nunes even more so. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for. Is either the Fahaj guy who does him, or Tommy Toehold doing it where Valentino just kicks half his body off. Just kicks
bottle cap challenges his head and just spins off.
There you go, Tommy Toehold. Bottle cap challenges head off the body.
Moving on from there. This is something we talked about back in June. This is Paige Van Zandt about to be one of MMA's hottest free agents. See what I did there?
Yeah. Not hot because she's a good fighter, but
she is a good fighter. You can't say she's not a good fighter. I mean, she's 8-4.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
Okay. How many of the 8 were soup cans?
You're going to say that Felice Herrig, Caitlin Curran, Alex Chambers, Beck Rawlings, and Rachel Ostrovich were all soup cans?
I wouldn't say Beck Rawlings. I would say when she fought Felice Herrig, we all knew that Felice Herrig was going through some stuff. You come on, right? I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing about Chalmers. Caitlin Curran.
She's doing all right.
I don't think she came into that fight with everything she had.
So, yeah, they are saying, again, we talked about this, that she will be a free agent, and she's saying she's curious. This story's been circulating back around again because she's in a couple more interviews where she says she's curious to see what she can do. She wants to prove to the UFC what she's worth. She is going to fight out her contract. She's going to and then re-sign afterwards if she gets things. They don't know when she's coming back. She still has the injured arm. She's not even supposed to be holding nothing more than a phone, which obviously, clearly, she's not doing. So she's not holding anything heavier than a phone right now.
If she starts putting out some pictures without her tits, then I want to see how they do. Every picture she puts out has her new tits in them.
Well, yeah, she's proud of them.
Well, I mean,
She's
but
happy.
still.
Wouldn't you be?
Wait, if I had new tits?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't show nobody.
You're a liar.
I would be stuck in the house.
You would be showing them to everyone.
I would never leave the house. And if I did, I would just look tired.
You'd be a cam girl just like everyone else.
You mean Instagram model?
Yeah. What happens if Instagram crashes? Are you guys going to be models anymore?
No.
Going back to being
There's
unemployed?
be some chicks who take selfies. I'm a selfie chick.
Moving on from there, Francis Naganou is going to make his acting debut in Fast Furious 9.
I hear he's going to punch a Ford Escort.
If he doesn't, this whole thing is wasted. Like, if a Ford Escort is not driving towards him and he just, like, boom, stops it with his fist, this whole thing is wasted.
Who was it who did the battery commercial where that was Chuck.
Chuck Liddell?
He punched a battery, right?
Yeah, something like that, and it powered up, or I don't know, something exploded. There was jets everywhere. Those some weird-ass commercials.
Did you see the patent thing I tagged you in?
Which one?
It's Randy Couture.
Yeah.
I thought I was joking.
The World War II movie that they're making with Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell?
Yeah. He thought I was joking. I told you it was out there.
Yeah, so this film is not even going to come out until next May. But just to let you know, and everybody who's a big fan of the UFC, Francis Ngannou is going to be in it. We have no idea what his role is. We have no idea how much acting, stunts, or whatever he's going to do. But they just want to let you know he's going to be in it. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I mean, he follows, Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, both MMA stars who were in.
Well, Hobbs and Shaw's doing really well.
Is it?
It is.
Outside of the U.S., it's doing well. In the U.S., it's not.
Well, they just keep showing overall numbers.
It's outside of the U.S., it's doing really well.
Okay. I don't think anybody does well in the U.S. because you can get everything for free in the U.S.
You don't think you can? Bro, I guarantee you can get Hobbs and Shaw on the street in China right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Like live?
You can just get it on a DVD.
On the DVD.
It's already there.
I can probably get it at the taco truck, too.
At your local barbershop.
Yeah.
This is something we've talked about for a little bit of time. You put this out last week when it was announced after our show that Aspen Ladd has now been suspended by the California State Athletic Commission. Let me take that back. Not quite suspended. They have basically said that they will not allow her to fight again.
They paused her license until she can get medical clearance.
Bantamweight, yeah.
To prove that she can medically make that weight.
That she had an 18% weight gain from weigh-in to fight day, which is bigger than anybody else on the entire card. So they suspended her license to compete at bantamweight pending documentation from a licensed physician.
Which is completely unfair because the 18% is the number that they told people was going to be the number.
15% was.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
I thought 18 was, so
15.
I thought that she was walking the line.
Nope, 15%.
Okay.
That's why.
Well, sorry. It's like, let's make a deal. You went over, you don't get the prize cash.
And actually, the number is actually 10%.
Right.
But 15% is where they will possibly pull you from working. They can cancel your fight. They can.
So 18% was way off the chart.
Way off the charts.
All right.
Her manager got really upset that this news was being put out there, saying this is a bunch. We've already talked to physicians. She's not suspended. That it's something we're working with. Like, I don't know why people are making a big deal. Well, because she almost looked like she was dying. That's why everyone was making a big deal.
Right.
And it's not the first time.
Right.
That's like, come on, man. Like, I understand you're trying to protect your client as a manager, but you also got to protect your client that maybe she shouldn't be making this weight cut anymore.
No, not only that, but you can't get mad at a fighter who's like, no, I don't want to fight her because she might not make it to the card.
Very true. Very true.
Right?
I mean, this is something, though, again, we've talked about her entire career. She's had struggle making this weight, or at least had some issues. So I don't know why it comes as a big surprise, which is why we covered it last time.
Right.
Moving on from there, what do we got? We got 2 fighters being busted by USADA. Estela Nunes was removed from the fight card. She's supposed to fight September 21st at UFC Mexico City against Angela Hill. She has been pulled from that fight. They said that they are not announcing what she has failed with, but she has tested positive for a banned substance. Also, another person who has not been announced what the banned substance is, but John Allen, who recently fought Mike Rodriguez here at UFC Sacramento back in July, has tested positive and now has failed the test. I believe they're turning his fight over to a no contest after his win. So, a male and a female that have now busted from USADA.
Like I said, I know that they don't want to tell us what's going on, but they're kind of telling us what's going on, but they won't tell us what the substance is.
They just won't tell you what the substance is, yeah.
Right. Because they know, like, if it's a diuretic again, I mean, this is ridiculous. Don't you feel?
Yeah.
I mean, there's more serious things going on out there, like fuckers with picograms.
We'll get to those later. A little bit of shocking news that happened this week. Top 10 ranked bantamweight Kat Zingano has been removed from the UFC roster.
Is it that shocking, though?
She has gone 1-4 in her last 5, so not necessarily the best record in the last 4. She did have that weird loss, though, to Megan Anderson, where she got her eyelids sliced open.
Yeah, sliced by a toenail.
So does that one kind of count as... I mean, it's still a loss, but do you really take that one against her?
But I don't take... to me, it's not losses or win. It's you have so many fights on your contract. You come back up for renegotiating your contract. Mm-hmm. Your stock's not that good. They're already trying to cut down on the women's division.
Yeah, I believe if you're a 145er, which... Kat Zingano is, your days are numbered.
Right.
Your days are numbered. They want to shut down the 145 women's division. They've talked about it for, they haven't openly talked about it, but everybody's talked about it
but it's just
for
like,
quite some time. But the one thing that was intriguing to me is she does have a win over Amanda Nunes. She was the last person to defeat her.
Back in the day.
She was the last person to defeat her.
Back in the day.
That's still a story you could build.
Right.
But Kat Zingano has...
But I mean, that was just like, who was it that beat Connor on his way up?
Yeah.
Duffy?
Yeah, Joe Duffy.
Yeah. And then, I mean...
He had a couple wins.
Joe Duffy just hasn't progressed.
He had a couple wins and he didn't go any further.
Right,
anyway, she has come out and said, I didn't want to take the ultimatum this time. I guess you can say then it was mutual. I have a project that is very, very important to me, to the MMA community, and to my fans. And I needed to put me, my son, and my training before anything the UFC had to offer. It's shitty timing, but it happens. I'm still a fighter and ready to fuck shit up. She will talk about that undisclosed project soon, but she just doesn't want to release about what it is yet. But it's kind of weird to see. Where do you think Kat Zingano lands? Where does the cat land? On her feet?
On her feet? I don't know. This can happen to her at least 8 more times. Right?
8 more lives?
She has more
lives left?
Yeah. She's just going to reappear somewhere?
I think Bellator.
What's the term for it when you show back up in a video game? What do you call that?
Respawn?
Respawn, yeah. She'll spawn in like...
With the landscape
Bellator.
of MMA, I think there's plenty of places for her to go to. Bellator obviously being one
Who's
of the
obviously going to start at 145, if not a 155.
They have a 145-pound division, and they're doing quite well with it, actually.
PFL has the 150-something?
155-pound division, yeah,
right.
for women. So there's definitely some options out there. I just think it was
Pick
a little
card,
bit...
any card.
A little bit of a shock to a lot of people that it just seemed so sudden that... Especially with the way that the loss was.
But I think it's just...
And she's still in the top 10.
It's just based on the name. It's like, oh, you can't... She's been around...
I would agree with that.
Right.
Conor McGregor back in the news. Surprise, surprise. But what's funny about this is the joke has been made that, once Nate Diaz was in the news, which we will talk about a little bit later, Conor McGregor said, "Hold my whiskey.
Hold my whiskey.
I got to get back into the headlines."
Yeah.
Except
he said, "Hold my whiskey," and someone's like, "This isn't real whiskey."
I don't want that. This happened actually back in April, and we are just now getting the video for it. We have talked about this before, though. Things that happen in Ireland, with the way that the media works and the way that the police department works, they're not allowed to release things right away.
Yeah, right.
Until all the evidence has happened. However, somebody released this video to TMZ. That's where the video is coming out of. Conor McGregor was at a bar trying to promote Proper 12 whiskey. He offered free shots to a bunch of people, one of them being an elderly gentleman. This was at the Marble Arch Pub in Dublin back in April. And the guy declined. He pushed the whiskey away. Conor McGregor got very insistent and gave it back to him. He pushed it away again. You see some video of him trying to get other people to drink and get all hyped up, and I don't know if he's trying to do a chant or a cheer or something. He then goes over and basically takes a cheap shot to the old man's head. Throws a left hand at the old guy. There are now people coming out today, I've been following this story for a little bit, that are saying, "Oh no, he threw the drink in his face."
No, he punched him. You can see he punched him.
He didn't punch him. He threw the drink in his face.
No, even Dana White says, "Yeah, I've seen it. It's horrible."
Yeah, Dana White came out and said, this happened in April. I knew that it had happened, but they've just now got the video. It's pretty bad. There's no allegedly. It's pretty clear that it's him. It's pretty apparent that it was in a pub in Ireland, and it's pretty apparent that it's an argument over whiskey. Conor has a whiskey now, and it was an argument over the whiskey, so he reaches out with him and hits him with the left hook. I don't know the context, I don't know the story, but he did punch the guy, an older man, in the face.
He did.
I knew that they had that. I knew the altercation at the bar, but I didn't know with who or anything. I didn't know anything. I just know that it had happened. He says, when under the UFC's code of conduct policy, any athlete faces punishment for behavioral detrimental to the promotion, regardless of involvement from law enforcement, they can fine them for, which they have in the past, just not with Conor McGregor, or with any other fighters they have. And they said when you deal with fighters and guys who fight for a living, there's always something. If you look at the greatest fighters like Tyson, what Tyson went through at his peak, every time you take a guy who's a professional fighter and you sprinkle a ton of money, you got to get ready. It's going to be ready for disaster. There's always literally a disaster.
Oh, yeah, because I remember... Wait, let's just go through it. I remember when Mike Tyson threw water bottles at the media. I remember when Mike
Monster
Tyson...
cans.
Yeah, I remember when Mike Tyson stormed a bus with a bike rack and a garbage can and broke a window. I remember... What else? I remember when Mike Tyson... No, when Mike Tyson jumped a fence at a Bellator competition, slapped an official... You remember when Mike Tyson did all that? Yeah, shit.
He's grabbing people's phones and smashing them on the ground.
Yeah, smashing them on the ground. All that stuff Mike Tyson did.
Punching a guy at a bar.
Yeah. An elderly man.
I
remember when Mike Tyson did that.
Pretty crazy that this stuff's going on. And again, I don't know. We talk about it so we're blue in the face. What's funny to me is that McGregor fans are like, ha, classic McGregor.
Right.
And that's it. They don't give a shit.
The only two parallels that I would probably make is that the substance that caused Mike Tyson to do what he did may be the same substance that's causing these things to happen. Yeah. And you can take from that what you want. Read into it what you want. Jones might have helped him. I'm just saying. The soda company.
Yeah, no. So Dana White just basically said, at some point he's going to have to make the decision to stop doing these type of things. He's got to wake up.
Yeah, because we're never going to fire him. We're never going to suspend him.
We're never going to suspend him.
He's going to have to just make the decision on himself
on his own. Yeah, which is crazy. Again, this stuff
because we're never going to force the hand.
Still allowed to happen. Like I said, I don't understand McGregor fans who basically just say, it's McGregor. Who cares? It's funny. Let him pay the fines. There's got to be something, right? There has to be some sort of discipline for this guy at some point. Somebody should.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said earlier, you want to draw the parallel with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson did time. Let's do some time.
Do some time. I get you. Maybe he'll change his mind.
I mean, it didn't change anything for Mike Tyson, but maybe it'll change McGregor. Just do some time.
Antonio Bigfoot Silva has signed with BareKnuckle Fighting Championships. That happened this weekend.
Get your tombstone graphic ready. Just saying.
Bigfoot Silva, man, the guy who knocked out Overeem, who knocked out Andre Arlovski.
The guy who, when he fights, he looks like the slow-down version of Matrix. But that's his full speed.
We know he's got heavy hands. We know he's got knockout power. However, the one thing we are a little concerned about is we decided to start looking a little deeper into that record of his. Let's see. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 out of 10 of his losses are by knockout, and that's his last 10 fights.
Right.
In his last 10 fights, he does have a win. He does have a decision loss. The rest of the time, he's been knocked out. That's scary when it goes to BareKnuckle.
Yeah.
I know he's a big name. I know you're trying to push the sport. I know you're trying to pull guys that have names to keep things going. I mean, we talked about the whole Alexander Elmenenko thing a couple weeks ago and how he's a big name. He's probably never going to fight. But this one now scares me that Bigfoot Silva,
what if he has to fight Emelianenko?
And it's got to be in another country.
Oh, my God.
Be revenge for the brother. Maybe that is the fight that they're... Bigfoot does have a win over Fedor.
Wow.
He does have a win over Fedor. Maybe little brother is going to avenge that loss.
Dude.
In a bare-knuckle fight. That's going to be scary.
You want to see a dead body?
Moving on from there, Avon Knight, former WBC and IBF boxing champion, women's boxing champion, has signed with Bellator. This makes the third fellow boxer. She's got Anna Houlihan and Heather Hardy, of course, that have also done boxing.
You think she does better than Heather Hardy? Because Heather Hardy came out like
strong,
came out strong, and then it's like
kind of petered. Now she's going back to boxing, right? She has.
Well, she said she was never going to stop boxing.
Yeah, but I think her next fight is a boxing match.
Right.
However, you got this is known as the lady of boxing here. She is 18-2-5 in boxing. She does not have an MMA fight. She will be fighting.
She's going to eat some feet.
Shannon Gorty at Bellator 228 in September. Shannon Gorty is 3-3 in MMA.
I thought you said Shannon Doherty. I was just
Shannon Doherty.
It's like, whoa.
Now you're watching.
Where are they fighting at? 90210.
Now you're watching. So she will be on the same card as Lyoto Machida versus Gegard Mousasi and Patricio Pitbull Ferreira going up against Juan Archuleta. So that's a very nice card to be stacked on. Again, it's going to be this upcoming September.
Is Gegard still trying to get a win?
He has a win.
Does he have one?
He has wins.
No, he has wins in the UFC, but since he's been over in Bellator,
He was their champ, bro.
I don't. Is he? I don't know.
I can't spell.
It's just GEG. There.
The moose is loose, man. I know he lost his last one, but he's still doing all right. Yeah, he just lost the belt.
Yeah. See.
Bellator, win. Had the belt, defended the belt, lost the belt.
Okay. All right. So that makes him a journeyman?
Nah. Once you get a champ, once you get a belt, you're not a journeyman. I mean, it's just the way it is. You may be a journeyman most of your career. Once you get a belt, you're not a journeyman.
Okay. What are you now?
When you lose the belt,
Craftsman?
When you lose the belt, you're a former champ.
Former champ. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Moving on.
I'm sorry. Just trying to bring some of that Joey love back up in here.
Jungle Fight out of Brazil signed a new 33-month deal with DAZN. So if you are not a DAZN subscriber and you would like to watch Jungle Fight, this is MMA out of Brazil. This is where Jose Aldo, Jacare, Lyoto Machida, Paulo Costa, Verdum, a lot of these guys came up through the Jungle Fights.
Didn't you tell me Disney's going to be getting all this?
Disney?
Yeah, you said Disney's going to be taking over all these.
I don't think DAZN.
Okay.
They're taking ESPN.
All right.
They own ESPN, so they're going to have technically part of the UFC.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, Jungle Fight will have, starting September, you can see a deal if you buy it on DAZN. You excited for more MMA?
More than I can hold. I think it's costing me $65 a month right now.
Moving on from there, we have Invicta Phoenix Rising Series 2 is going to be going down September 6th. This is going to be a all one-night flyweight tournament. I'm assuming it's going to be for the number one contender to fight the champion.
Well, it's for the UFC contract.
No, well, yeah. If we look at what happened to the last one, yeah. If we look at what happened to the last Rising tournament where Brianna Van Buren won the strawweight title in Bellator, immediately got signed to fight in the UFC, and now they have a vacant belt again.
There you go.
That's tough. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be for who fights Vanessa Porto. Vanessa Porto is the current flyweight champion. She had that weird fight with Pearl Gonzalez where it got stopped. She was the champ.
Right.
So this is going to be going down. Again, one-night tournament, going to be on Fight Pass. So if you're a Fight Pass member, make sure you check this out. One-night flyweight tournament for Invicta. Pretty cool stuff there.
I don't even have a choice. I try to delete my UFC app, and then Apple just keeps charging for it every month. It's the only downside, but I'm not mad.
Nate Diaz making headlines again before his fight going on tomorrow.
Choo-choo, like a train.
Yeah, this was at the open workouts on Wednesday. Nate Diaz sparking up here. Everyone was like, it's a joint. He's got bud. He's smoking weed. He don't give a fuck. It's CBD, folks.
Yeah.
Relax.
Also known as hemp.
CBD.
Hemp.
CBD is not in any points...
What'd you tell me is 0.03?
Prohibited in competition by WADA, by USADA, by the UFC, by anybody. It's all out. Not only that, but if he does have THC in his system, he has to have it out by noon Friday. This happened Wednesday. And under the current guidelines, it's 150 milligrams. Okay, 150
and you could just drink Roundup because it's a weed killer, right?
Virtually CBD products
don't
have
do that. That's a joke. It's a joke.
0.3% of THC in their products, so I guarantee he will not be having it in his system. Even if he did, it's a 1-month suspension, $100 fine.
And would he have to give up the win?
No.
You just
not if it's before.
Okay.
California State Athletic Commission Director Andy Foster declined to make a comment. He's not the only fighter using CBD, since CBD is not prohibited by any stance. The UFC even has, we talked about this a month ago, they have their own sponsor.
And Bellator picked one up, and I believe that PFL has commercials for one too.
Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz have started Game Up Nutrition. That's what he was smoking. It was from Game Up Nutrition. He passed it out actually to the fans that were out there. This is during the open workouts. But everyone lost their shit.
Right.
Nate Diaz sparking up during the open workouts. He also did a big chunk of his media that day. Had his own fight scrum afterwards.
Because he was feeling good.
Tons of questions.
He's feeling good. He was on the CBD.
And then did not show up to media day on Thursday.
And Dana White says, I knew he wasn't.
Which prompted this picture of Dana White being like, well, I guess this is the face-off, me and Anthony Pettis.
Right.
He said, Nate addressed the media at length yesterday after the open workouts, covering all topics. that he did not. His absence was approved by Dana White, and he did not need to continue to do media. I am assuming the live weigh-in should be happening either now or within the hour. He will be there for those because he does have to weigh in.
Right. No, he's already they weighed in this morning, but you mean the ceremonial?
The ceremonial weigh-in. Okay. I'm assuming
How'd you just say it? Ceremonial. I love it.
You like that? Ceremonial.
Wrong.
Ceremonial.
Like we're on bars.
Diaz does hold some records here, which I think are some pretty good ones here.
Most blunts smoked in an open workout.
This will be his 7th welterweight bout. Let's see what we got here. Diaz lands 5.34 significant strikes per minute in the welterweight competition. He is tied for the 3rd highest rate in divisional history.
Only second to Colby Covington, right?
Way above both of them.
I'm just saying, because Covington broke every record 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, by not actually hitting anybody.
Exactly.
Diaz has 238 significant strikes landed. That is the most. It was the most for a while. Just recently, Max Holloway broke that at 290. Most in a 3-round fight. Diaz also has 15 fight of the night bonuses and tied with Joe Lauzon for 2nd most in the company. So yeah, this is going to be a good fight, man. We will get to that here very, very shortly. Let's jump into BKF7 happened.
BKFC7.
BKFC
consonants.
7 happened over the week. This was, I believe, Friday night. Friday night. Yeah. This is free on YouTube. If you didn't check this out, Lennon Garcia did his best. Lennon Garcia used to fight MMA, used to fight in the UFC. He lost pretty badly in the main event. Melvin Gillard also lost pretty badly, who was a former MMA fighter. But let's move on from there.
It's hard. The Gillard fight, you could just tell like he wanted to kick so bad.
Not only that, but he was swinging. He knew like I'm gonna lose this fight if I don't knock this guy out.
Right.
Like it's not looking good for me. Then we had UFC Fight Night Shevchenko versus Carmouche Chu. UFC Fight Night 156. UFC Fight Night on ESPN Plus 14. UFC Fight Night Uruguay. Happened on ESPN Plus, and we could go over the card there. Veronica Massado gets the win over Poliana Viana. Alex de Silva Coelho over Rodrigo Vargas. Chris Gutierrez over Geraldo de Freitas. Rogerio Bontorian over Julian Pavia Franzo. This one broke your heart. Marina Rodriguez defeated Tisha Torres in a unanimous decision.
It was exactly like it. I gave it a 30-25. It was bad.
It was pretty bad. Serial gain over Rafael Perosa Nunes. Gilbert Burns gets the win.
Told
over
you, Mr.
Alexei
Burns. He runs that power plant, bro.
Kuncheko. Enrique Barzola over Bobby Moffitt. You got Rodolfo Vieira over Oscar Pinchota. Volkan Ozdemir, man.
I know.
Gets the win over Iri Latifi. I told you so.
Yeah, I know.
I told you so.
You were due for one.
Luis Eduardo Gagordi gets the win over Humberto.
But who took Luke?
We're not even there yet.
I know, I'm just telling you.
You're just jumping ahead.
Yeah, because you're making me look bad.
But did he? This is going to be Vincent Luke helps Mike Perry spell Uruguay with his nose.
He stole his nose. I got your nose.
Yeah, helps him spell Uruguay with his nose.
Oof.
Oh, it's hard to look at. In a split decision, I had Mike Perry winning that fight.
Yeah, because you picked him before the fight started.
No. Yeah. I had him winning that fight.
By what?
By a split decision. It was pretty fucking close. You can't say that it wasn't close. It was a split decision for a reason.
I know, but I don't think it was that close.
No? Just because of that?
No, just because overall contact and damage. And again, I understand that that's not always a big thing, but
it is to you.
It is.
When you pick the guy.
Yes.
I'd like to know what you guys think. Did you think Mike Perry, besides the nose, won that fight, or did Vincent Luke should have keep the win? Obviously, it's not like if they're going to take it away, but I thought it was a very close fight. It shows Mike Perry definitely.
And it was a great fight. I mean, they both got $50,000.
It's a hard guy to knock out.
Oh, yes.
And he even flat out said, I guess I should put my hands up. I knew I wasn't going to get knocked out, but at least I could have saved my nose.
Right. Oh. That is the see, and again, that's the big thing. There was a lot of times where he seemed slow on it, but again, I think he was doing it to draw him, but then just wasn't able to get the counter punch in.
And then Valentina Shevchenko gets the win over Liz Carmouche in a unanimous decision.
Yes.
And people lost their fucking minds and said that Valentina Shevchenko is now a boring fighter. that Valentina Shevchenko held back, that Valentina Shevchenko is now going to go the way of George St. Pierre, Jose Aldo, Benson Henderson, John Jones, and just decision this out for the rest of her career because she's playing it safe. Do you feel that way?
No, like I told you, I tip my hat to Shevchenko because you could tell she was I wouldn't say pushing it real hard the first and second round, but then she just realized she's like, Carmouche has got nothing.
I mean, she's coming off of a knockout win over Jessica Ai.
Right.
She had that decision with Jędrzejczyk to get the belt. So, I mean, that was a tough fight for her to be able to get the belt to begin with. I think fans are a little too fickle right away. Like,
but I do agree with people that she went easy on her, especially in the fourth and fifth. But I mean, it was just like, why kill this girl? I have this fight on lock. You know what I mean?
I don't really think her style has shifted to safety. That's my opinion. I think she was still doing enough. She was definitely pushing hard. It was a workman-like victory.
I want to say compassion. She had compassion for Carmouche and was just like, I'm not going to kill her. Because she did beat her up.
Yeah.
She messed her face up pretty good.
I mean, she flat out says, I have to be a smart fighter, especially with someone like Liz. I can't go in with tons of emotion. You're going to get caught.
Right. And I mean, at this point, you got to be worried about breaking your foot on somebody's face. You got to be worried about the damage to your body. And did you see her leg the day after? Carmouche went to work on her leg.
Yeah.
That's about the only part of her body that really got worked, but still.
I don't know. I hats off to Valentina, man.
Yeah.
I think she did a great job.
I'm going to say
I don't think fans
the fourth and fifth round she was compassionate.
I don't think fans should knock her down quite yet. Going on to, we have
like us. We don't give a shit what fans think.
UFC 241.
All
this is
seven
UFC
of you.
Cormier versus Miocic 2. This is going down in the Honda Center in Anaheim, California on Fight Pass.
Uh-oh, the North American Yeti is watching the show right now.
We got Sabina Mazo going up against Shanna Dobson. Kyung Ho Kang going up against Brandon Davis. Hannah Kiefer's going up against Jody Escabel. Again, all on Fight Pass. You're going to have to get Fight Pass to watch this fight on pay-per-view, so you might as well watch the prelims.
Right.
Just saying. Switch it over to the regular ESPN.
No, you're going to have ESPN Plus to watch this.
True.
Yeah, not Fight Pass. You can't get pay-per-views on Fight Pass.
But you can watch the prelims on the Fight Pass, and then you get it on ESPN Plus.
Either way, what Brandon said, just buy it all.
Yeah, you got to buy
Be
it
a sucker
all,
like me.
Come on. Beat
Big
Dennis.
old lollipop.
Manny Bermudez against Casey Kenny. Christos Gallegos going against Drakkar Klose. Rafael Sunsao going against Cody Sandhagen. And Devontae Smith going against Karma Worthy. This is on
Sandhagen.
Sandhagen. Say it all together. Sandhagen.
You say Van Halen?
Van Halen.
No, Van Halen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got you. All right. After you get done watching ESPN, flip it over to ESPN Plus and plug in that pay-per-view credit card. Buy yourself probably one of the best pay-per-views so far. Would you agree? This is a nice card.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You got Derek Brunson.
Even if you take Cormier and Stipe off it, it's still a great card.
Yeah. You got Derek Brunson starting it off against Ian Heinz. Gabriel Benitez going up against Sodiq Yosef. Your co-main event. A fight that's been talked about now for quite some time. That is supposed to have been going on a couple times already. Yoel Romero going up against Paulo Costa.
You know what kills me is there's a lot of people who know who Yoel Romero is and they follow fighting, but since he's grown that porn mustache, people are like, who's this guy on the card? I'm like, that's Yoel Romero. They're like, no, wait. Oh, it is. I was like, yeah, it's the porn mustache because he's got the new look, so you don't know.
I think he's the Cuban Don Fry.
Is
Oh, take that back. Rewind it. I'm going to go.
What is it? Flip it back and reverse it? Is that what you want to do?
What was his name?
Put my thing down and reverse it?
Oh, now I can't remember.
Can you work it? No? Who? What? Where?
Trying to remember. That's not him. That's not him either. Oh, man. It's going to annoy me. I got to know who this is. Let's see. Dan Severn. He's the Cuban Dan Severn. He's got that mustache kind of like Freddie Mercury. Curls down. It's like perfect. He wears the black spandex shorts.
He should come out to Fat Bottom Girls.
Speedo shorts.
He should come out to Fat Bottom Girls.
When he came out and he was like, ah! Right? He looked just like Dan Severn.
Yeah.
But he's Cuban.
Yeah. I think he's actually built a little bit better than...
he's way bigger than Dan Severn.
Yeah.
Who do you got in this fight? Paulo Costa or Cuban Dan Severn?
Dan Severn.
Yeah, I'm going Cuban Dan Severn, Yoel Romero all the way.
Just the fact that he can look like that and hasn't tested hot lately.
I loved you.
Because he tested hot once, right?
I loved you.
And then He won, right? He won the $27 million?
He won his money back, yeah.
Right.
He tested hot, but it was because of his supplements were tainted.
Right.
And it was unknown to him.
And why he put supplements in his taint, I have no idea.
Your co-main event, Anthony Pettis versus Nate Diaz. 209, baby.
Man.
Stockton.
God, how long has it been?
This is a good fight.
The only thing I don't like is that Pettis has been fighting and Nate's been smoking weed.
No. He's been training.
I know.
I've been training for fights, just haven't got fights.
Right.
He's been in fight camp, but never had a fight. Don't think that he's out of shape.
No. Because they run triathlons every 3 weeks.
Chael Sonnen just recently did a little podcast where he was talking about he runs into Nate pretty regularly at all the events that are going on in and around California and Oregon and things like that. And he said for the first time that he embraced him and gave him a hug, he felt big and strong. He goes, I think he's been lifting weights. I think he's been putting on a little bit of muscle. He definitely feels better at 170.
I hope he puts on the Nate Nick Clinic where it's slaps, it's punches. It's just
he's gonna have the striking distance. The thing that I worry about, and I think most fans will worry about, you gotta check leg kicks, Nate, because Pettis is gonna leg kick you to fucking death. And you don't like checking leg kicks for whatever reason, and you need to check leg kicks.
Yeah, but then here's my problem.
You don't want to end up with just like your one TKO loss. You know what I mean? You can't end up like that, man. That was not a good look.
Oh, Thompson,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when he fought Josh Thompson, Josh Thompson just leg kicked him. Even when
but Josh Thompson's a fucking ninja, bro.
Even when Cowboy was leg kicking him before Diaz took out Cowboy. So please check the leg kick. He's going to have the reach. I think he's going to pepper him. The thing that worries me about Pettis, or worries me for Pettis, Pettis' 2 TKO losses recently have come off of injury. Broke his hand, broke his ribs. Maybe he's a little brittle.
Right.
Maybe Diaz puts a clinic to him and breaks something.
Yeah.
They're going to throw in the towel. Now, Pettis says this is personal, that, Diaz has always talked trash, that he tried to fight him one time in a casino or in some sort of hotel.
Well, allegedly this week, Nate and Nick tried to jump him at a club, according to Rufus Jim.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, yeah. So, and Diaz has been like, I don't understand why this guy got to be on the Wheaties box and not me or somebody else. Like, he didn't deserve it.
You know the answer to that. You know the answer to that.
There's a great interview. I think you posted the link to it. You can check it out with ESPN, where he talked at length about the history between the two fighters and how they came up. And I hope that people watch that interview and realize that all this stuff that people have been saying about their low IQs and that they don't know how to talk, that shit's all out in the wind. The problem is a lot of the stuff that you've seen from the Diaz brothers, they're either doing against their will or they were kind of contractually obligated to do it. I think the ESPN thing he talks about,
is something he wanted to do.
Yeah, it took him a little while, but yeah, he talks about being on the Ultimate Fighter House and how he's like, I just got tired of doing confessionals every day. It was a bunch of bullshit. Like, they want me to talk. He's like, there's nothing to talk about. He's like, so for that show, he's like, I went over there and did 2 hours of confessionals so they would never have to talk to me again. And they just cut it together for the whole show.
Right.
He's like, there's nothing to talk about. Obviously, we'll be repping Diaz. It's going to be a good fight. I think this is going to be a hell of a fight.
Yeah. Or it could be over in 5 seconds. We don't know. The UFC's been a fickle game lately.
I'm going to go Diaz. That's
Oh yeah, we're I think everybody in this room, right? Yeah. The whole room's Nate Diaz.
And of course your main event is the rematch, Daniel Cormier going up against Stipe Miocic.
Now here's where the difference is going to start.
Who do you got in this fight?
Miocic.
You got Miocic?
I hope that he makes the changes that need to be changed. And just stays out of reach.
If DC wins, does this put it to bed? Greatest heavyweight of all time in the UFC?
No.
Who? In the UFC. Not saying it everywhere. I mean, I still think, regardless of what happened to Fedor and Fedor's career, he has still got to be considered one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. I'd have to look through everybody's that's on the list. But in the UFC, DC is
I would
pretty
say
damn impressive.
Since we've had set heavyweight divisions, maybe. But would I say he's the best 225er to 245er? No. Right? I mean, we had some badasses coming up. You know what I mean? Where they didn't have to stay in a weight class.
But to stop a guy like Miocic, who was at the time, people were saying was probably one of the greatest heavyweights because he had the greatest record. He had defended so many times. And to come in and stop him the way he stopped him.
Right. But look. It's just like I said with the whole Aldo thing. So we got a guy who ran his division for 10 years. And then all of a sudden somebody comes in and beats him once. and now he's not the greatest ever.
Right.
So I don't know the time span that we're putting around these fighters to make them the greatest ever, or just say like the greatest so far. Can you say that?
Okay. Do you think DC wrestles him more?
It's hard to say what's going on. Does Stipe decide to wrestle more? I mean, would that be a bad thing?
I think it would be. Daniel Cormier is an Olympic caliber wrestler. I think it'd be something to test him on.
Right.
I still think DC has the edge wrestling wise. Hands. I still think Stipe has the hand advantage, or has the boxing advantage. I
think he completely underestimated.
I'm interested to see if DC picks him up and slams him like he's done multiple other guys that have surprised me. When he did it to Rumble, when he did it to Barnett, when he did it. Those things surprised me.
But Stipe's got the longer legs.
He does have longer range.
They're not as long as Jones, but there's a lot of stuff that he can do Jones-esque to prevent the takedown. This is a great main event.
I'm excited to see this. This rematch should have happened a year ago.
Yeah, and this is something that I talked to a couple guys at work about, is like, why wouldn't you take the Jones films and go, okay, well, this is how I need to stand when he tries to grab me. This is how I need to position myself on the fence. Look what works for Jones.
Yep.
I know they're not the same build. I know he doesn't have the ape arms, and again, that's not... He doesn't have the long arms that Jones has.
Jones has the biggest reach in the UFC.
Yeah, but I mean, but Stipe has almost. He's not as tall, right? Is he as tall as John Jones? But I'm just saying, he's lengthy like that. Like, so why not use that positioning, that movement in stuff in the takedowns? Because that's really what Jones does. It's not Jones's strength that keeps him from getting taken down.
He's pretty strong though.
I know, but it's the positioning.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, they're the exact same height, 6'4".
Yeah, so. I mean, it would be hard to not take this guy's
Jones
video.
Has 4 inches of reach, though, over Stipe, which is what you're talking about.
Right. It's the arms. But, I mean, the arms can't help you in the takedown. It's your overall.
They might be able to, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's going to be a great fight. I'm excited to see this
Again, my big thing is I'm coming from football, and this is what we do in football. We take film, we break it down.
I would like Miocic to get this win and come back and start another run. I just don't know where he's going to be at. And I think DC's been a little more active. I'm going to be taking DC.
Okay.
I know you're taking Miocic. Yeah. It's all right. I guess nothing wrong with it.
I'm taking Stipe, and like I tell everybody, it's because like when you guys were ready to do his interview, you're like, how are we going to talk to him? Because we all thought he was like Russian or whatever. And then he spoke perfect English, and we're like, oh, okay.
I didn't think that. It was more like, I don't know what to talk to him about because he doesn't do that many interviews at the time.
Right.
Let's talk to him about Call of Duty. Sweet. This I can do. Yeah, so that is the show this week. Make sure you go over to shirtsicle.com/SDMMA and pick yourself up a shirt. Fight Night and Chill, Pride, and of course, our OG shirt.
Coming from SynCal Industries, everybodysins.com. And that'll cycle through another thing.
We got Walkie Craft. We got My MMA News.
That's probably coming up next.
You can pick up all of your news. We do this once a week. They do this every single day, 24 hours a day.
My MMA News.
Follow My MMA News on different social media. Make sure you check them out on Twitter. And, of course, go to their website for the latest breaking news. They cover lots of regional stuff. They cover national stuff.
Dependable Solutions, innovating your business.
Yep, innovate your business.
www.dependable-solutions.net.
And, of course, Walkie Craft.
Walkie Craft. Get your bottle cap opener.
That is it. That is your day of fights. We will see you there.
Or we'll see you at the fights. Are you getting hacked? No, I don't want to be hacked. I've already been hacked. I can't get hacked.